Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Functional Longevity Podcast, where we give you insight on how to get fit, feel younger, live better. I'm your host, Chris Border, best-selling author and owner of Y.E.S Fitness. Let me first thank you for taking time from your busy day to listen to what I have to say. I don't take that lightly. And before we also get started, let me thank our sponsor, Y.E.S Fitness. At Y.E.S Fitness, we help people age 40 plus get fit so they can live longer and enjoy those extra years doing the things they love to do. Some quick housekeeping here. If you'd like to get a timestamp or a transcript of today's broadcast, head on over to yesfitnessct.com. Across the top, you'll see a button for podcast. Click on that, and that will give you access to any one of our now 399 episodes. You can also get this broadcast wherever podcasts can be found. Boost your longevity with our particular supplements. If your workouts are not hitting the same, if recovery is slower, or if you feel your energy drops off too fast, this is usually something deeper going on. As we age, our ability to produce and use energy declines. That's why I use Particular. M&M supports cellular energy production. Resveratrol helps protect the cardiovascular and brain health. Berberine supports metabolic flexibility and blood sugar control. These are clean, research-backed supplements made here in the United States, and they have made a noticeable difference in my energy and recovery. If you want to feel the difference, go to Particular, that's Particular.com, and use code Y.E.S15 to save 15% on your order. So the silent risk that is quietly destroying your brain after 40. If you've been focused on your weight for how you look, you might be missing something far more important. What if your body fat is not just affecting your waistline, but slowly affecting your brain? Today, we're going to break down a powerful new study that moves beyond correlation and gets much closer to causation. It shows that higher body fat is not just associated with dementia risk, it may actually be driving it. In case you're not familiar with causation and correlation, correlation means two things are related, but it does not prove one cause the other. For example, people who carry more body fat may have a higher risk of dementia, but that alone does not tell us if the body fat is the reason. Causation means one thing directly leads to another. In this case, it would mean higher body fat is actually driving the increase in dementia risk, not just showing up alongside it. And more importantly, it shows us exactly what lever you can pull starting today to protect your brain. So let's first talk about the big shift from correlation to causation. For years, we have known that obesity is linked to dementia. But here's a problem. Most of the data comes from observational studies. That means they could not say for sure whether body fat was causing the problem or just showing up alongside it. This study did something different. It used a method called Mendelian randomization. Think of it as a natural running think of it as nature running a randomized trial using your genetics. Some people are genetically predisposed to carrying more body fat, others are not. If those with a genetic tendency towards higher body fat also show higher dementia risk, this is a strong signal that the relationship is causal. And that is exactly what they found. So here are the keys to finding what you need to understand from this research. And here's the number that matters. For every 5 points increase in BMI, there was a 63% increase in risk of vascular-related dementia. Let me put this into real terms. That is roughly the difference between going from a healthy weight to overweight, or from overweight to obese. We're not talking about extreme cases. We're talking about what many people consider normal age weight gain. And it comes with significant increases in brain risk. But here is where it gets even more interesting. This relationship was not specific to vascular related dementia, not Alzheimer's disease. That tells us something critical. This is not just a brain issue. This is a blood vessel issue. And here's why your blood vessels matter more than you think. If there's one concept you need to take from this episode, it's this. Your brain health is directly tied to your vascular health. Your brain runs on blood flow, oxygen, and nutrients. If your blood vessels are not functioning well, your brain cannot function well. And what this study finds is the strongest driver of this relationship: blood pressure. Blood pressure was the standout factor connecting body fat to dementia risk. In fact, an increase in systolic blood pressure was linked to a 156% risk of vascular dementia. An increase in diastolic blood pressure was linked to a 232% higher risk. This is not a small effect. This is massive. So why does body fat drive this process? Now let us connect these dots for you. Why would higher body fat increase dementia risk? There are several overlapping mechanics. First, excess body fat increases blood pressure over time. Second, it drives inflammation throughout the body. Third, it contributes to insulin resistance, which affects how your body uses energy. And fourth, it damages the lining of your blood vessels, reducing your ability to expand and deliver blood efficiently. Over years and decades, this causes a perfect storm. Reduced blood flow, increased vascular damage, impaired brain energy use, and eventually cognitive decline. You may have heard that being slightly overweight might be protective. That idea comes from an observational data that showed a U-shaped curve. Both low and high BMI appeared risky. But this study examines why that happens. People often lose weight before a dementia is diagnosed, sometimes years before. So low body weight in those studies was not causing the problem. It was a symptom of the problem. When researchers removed that noise using genetic analysis, the picture became clearer. Higher body fat, higher risks. No paradox. Well, what can we actually do about it? Now, here's really what the part that matters most. What do you do with this information? The study gives us two clear directions. First, manage your body fat over time. No crash dieting, no chasing the scale, but building lean muscle and gradually reducing excess fat. This is where resistance training and proper protein intake become critical. Second, and this is the big one, control your blood pressure. But here's the reality. You might not lose 20 pounds overnight, but you can start improving your blood pressure much faster than that. And that has a direct impact on your brain health. So here are some of the most effective blood pressure strategies. Let me just give you some practical tools here. Aerobic exercise consistently lowers blood pressure and improves vascular health. Heat exposure like saunas or even hot baths can improve blood vessel function. Sleep quality is critical. Poor sleep drives blood pressure up quickly. Nutrition matters. Focus on whole foods, reduce ultra-processed foods, increase potassium-rich foods, and manage sodium intake. These are not extreme strategies. They're consistent habits, and they work. So here's kind of the bigger picture on our functional longevity here, okay? And this is what functional longevity is all about. It's not just about living longer. It's about maintaining the systems that allow you to live well. Strength, muscle, metabolic health, and in this case, vascular health. Because your brain is not separate from your body. It depends on it. So, what's the exact plan to reduce body fat and protect your brain? This question becomes simple. What are the actual steps to reduce body fat, improve blood pressure, and protect your brain long term? Let's keep this practical for you, okay? Step number one, strength training with purpose. Big difference here, with purpose. If you're over 40, this is non-negotiable. You should be strength training 2 to 3 times a week. Focus on full body movements, not sitting on machines if you can. Progressive resistance. You need to make your body force your body to adapt by increasing resistance, making the exercises harder, and changing those exercises and resistance levels over time. A controlled tempo and good technique. Obviously, form is important. You don't want to get injured. Your goal is not just to burn calories. Your goal is to build and maintain muscle, because muscle is what drives metabolic health, improves insulin sensitivity, and helps regulate body fat over time. If you're doing random workouts, you're leaving results on the table. You need structure and progression. Number 2, use high-intensity interval training to drive fat loss and cardiovascular health. You do not need long, slow cardio sessions to improve your health. You need structured conditioning done with intent. This is where high-intensity interval training becomes one of the most effective tools you can use. Done correctly, certainly with a heart rate monitor, it improves cardiovascular fitness, helps lower blood pressure, supports fat loss, and saves time. And here's the key difference most people miss. The work to rest times are just guidelines. Heart rate is the real driver. So what should you be aiming for? So during your workout intervals, push your heart rate to about 80 to 90% of max. During recovery, allow you to drop back down around 60 to 70%. This is how you individualize a workout. This is how you make sure that you're actually training the systems you want to improve, not just some basic work to rest, 30 on, 30 off, something like that. Make it specific to you if you really want to be efficient. And here's what that could look like. Let's say you're at a bike or rower intervals, 30 seconds of hard effort, 90 seconds recovery. Repeat 6 to 10 bounds. But again, those times are secondary. What matters here is your heart rate. Climbs during work and comes down during recovery. I know when we work it out at the gym, gosh, people would hate if I gave them 90 seconds of recovery. They like 30 seconds. They like 45. They like to feel like they're getting the snot kicked out of them, when actually they would be more efficient if they would just put the heart rate monitor on. Both in improving aerobic capacity, the VO2 max, which is a huge predictor in longevity, and in their fat loss journey. Or let's say a different option. Let's say we're using treadmill intervals. Increase incline and pace until your heart rate climbs into the higher zone, 80 and almost 90%. Recovered by lowering the intensity until your heart rate drops. Repeat for 6 to 10 rounds. Notice, not that long, 6 to 10 rounds. Doesn't have to be an hour. Our group exercise classes for Get Lean are 30 minutes. It's all you need. And here's some circuit-based conditioning. You got kettlebell swings, push-ups, goblet squats, rower sprints. Move continuously to elevate heart rate. Rest long enough to bring it back down. Again, use your heart rate monitor. And only repeat 3 to 5 rounds. Don't need to be in the gym for an hour. So here's why. The heart rate matters more than the clock. Everyone recovers at a different rate. Fitness levels vary. Stress and sleep impact performance. Hydration impacts performance. If you only follow the clock, you miss all of that. If you follow heart rate, you train the person in front of you. That's you. The goal is simple. You elevate, recover, repeat. Recover. People do not like to recover. They feel like they're not being efficient, but the recovery is key. And that's how you improve conditioning without burning out. So if you want to take a look at a week, you want to do strength training 2 to 3 times a week. You want to do 2 to 3 times of interval sessions, guided by your heart rate monitor, daily movement through steps each and every day. Your daily movement target outside the workouts, because movement matters, aim for 8 to 10,000 steps a day. This helps regulate blood sugar, supports fat loss, improves recovery, and helps keep your metabolism alive. This is about 15% of your calories you burn each day from just your daily movement. And this is one of the simplest and most effective habits you can build. Number 4, let's build your nutrition around protein and structure. Most people overcomplicate nutrition. Start here. Eat protein at every meal. A good target is roughly 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of goal body weight. So if you want to weigh 150 pounds, let's get 150 grams of protein. And people freak out about that. But that's what it takes. Especially as we get older, more protein, because your body does not metabolize it as well. Build your meals around lean proteins, fruits, and vegetables. Whole food carbohydrates and healthy fats. Minimize your processed foods. You do not need perfection, just consistency. In step 5, let's create a small sustainable calorie deficit. You don't need extreme dieting. In fact, that usually backfires. A small calorie deficit done consistently over time is what works. This is where structure matters. Regular meals, planned snacks, awareness of portion sizes. If you cannot sustain it, it will not work. And step 6, as usual, prioritize sleep and recovery. You cannot outtrain poor sleep. Lack of sleep increases hunger hormones, raises blood sugar, impairs recovery, and makes fat loss harder. Aim for 7 to 9 hours a night. This is not optional if you care about your long-term health. And number 7, let's monitor the right metrics. Don't rely on a scale. Track. Body composition if possible. A lot of scales now at home can take body composition. Just make sure you're doing that scale each and every time, the same time of day, to get the best results. Make sure we're doing some strength training in the gym, progressive, intended strength training. Make sure you have energy levels and, more importantly, your blood pressure, because remember, blood pressure is one of the strongest levers that you can pull for brain health. So as I bring this all together, you don't need to do everything perfectly. You just need to do the right things consistently, like your strength training, your daily movement, support your body with proper nutrition, and take control of your blood pressure. This is how you reduce body fat. This is how you improve your health. And this is how you can protect your brain for the long run. So if you're thinking about protecting your brain as you age, don't just think about memory. Think about your blood pressure. Think about your metabolic health. Think about how you're training your body every week, because the decisions you make today are shaping your brain 10, 20, 30 years from now. If you found this episode helpful, share it with someone who wants to stay strong, sharp, and independent as they age. And remember, the goal is not just to live longer. The goal is to live better. Keep training, keep moving. I'm Chris Borda, and this is the Functional Longevity Podcast. I will see you next time with more information on how to get fit, feel younger, and live better. Have a great day.